Hi guys, it's me, Kim, also known as your Low Carb Queen. But today I'm talking about house hunting. And I just wanted to share something with you. I have so many photos and videos in my phone and on my Google Drive. So when Tony and I were buying this house, we went to the site almost every day, at least 2 to 3 times a week. And so I just wanted to share some information with you. If you're ever thinking about buying a house or if you bought one, did you go through some of the same things that we went through? So I wanted to share some of that with you and show you the process. So let's get started. So the first thing we did when we went to go buy a house is we looked at a lot of different developments, and when we found this particular development, it had two schools inside of it, and so that was a good thing. And it was relatively new. The section that we were moving into was relatively new. We got to look and pick our own plot of land, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any neighbors behind me, and preferably, I know it was a development, but if I could get somewhere in a cul-de-sac or at least don't have neighbors close on both sides, then that would be great. So we were able to pick the plot that we wanted, and of course, we didn't have any people directly behind us. So after we picked the plot within the development, you put the down payment on the property, and then they mark that sold, meaning that plot is taken. We signed on the dotted line in April, and they said it would take about 3 months. So that would have been May, June, July, but they actually finished in August. The property or the house type that we chose one that had a walkout basement. So here you see they started digging out the foundation for the basement. From beginning to end, everything always looks smaller to me than it actually is. So after they dug out the foundation, they started working on the piping, and you can see how close it is to the house next door, which was also being built. This is the gravel, setting up for the driveway. And then as you can see, they start laying the foundation. I don't know if y'all noticed in one of the previous slides, but there were only about one, I think, or maybe two completed houses on this block. And as you can see across the street, there were no homes that had been built yet. So now the foundation is basically finished and they're getting ready to start building on the house. One of the things that they like you to do ahead of time, way ahead of time, is start deciding what you want on the inside of the house. Now, you are given basics that are at no cost, but there are so many things that if you decide to choose, they become upgrades, and that's literally added into your mortgage. So this right here is what was chosen for the outside of the house, the shutters and other little like the front. And you can't have the same thing as your neighbor. Like every two houses. Let me see, how can I say this? And since you can't have the same thing as a neighbor, it goes like every two houses can't be the same. So that's what happens. If you choose a particular front, the neighbor next door couldn't have it, and their neighbor couldn't have it. So yeah. So when choosing the inside cabinets, kitchen cabinets, the house came with the standard maple cabinets, which is a little bit lighter, but I wanted dark cabinets, and so you have to trade off for that or pay a little bit extra. I traded off for a couple of things. I wanted a gas stove. It came with an electric stove. So I gave up my lighting that's underneath the cabinets. I gave that up in exchange for the gas stove and something else I had to give up, but I don't remember. Also, the house came with standard hardwood floors and basic carpet in, most of the areas. Now, my problem was I didn't want hardwood floors in the kitchen. So I opted for a tile in the kitchen, which it was okay, but the problem was we had hardwoods in the foyer, hardwoods in the breakfast room. That hardwood was broken up by tile in the kitchen. And then the family room and the dining room and the living room all had carpet. So, looking back, I probably would have did things differently. I didn't want the traffic areas to have carpet at all. If I had to do it over again, I wouldn't choose carpet, period. I would just put rugs on the floor. So, like I said, we would come by frequently to make sure, to check on things and see how everything was going. This is the building of the basement. We did get the basement finished. There are like 3 rooms. It's like one big room. Extra was paid for surround sound because that was like going to be like a man cave. Also, extra was paid for a half bathroom. A full bathroom was requested, but I was like, no, if we put a full bathroom down here, it's just going to be a wrap. So let's just do a half bathroom. You got to come upstairs to take a shower. So that's what happened, but it was fully carpeted, and 2 of the rooms, the small rooms, storage rooms, were not done. They were not sheetrock. But one could be used definitely for like a bedroom, and one could be used for office. When you are having a house built, you have to pick out everything. I mean, depending on what development you're in or what subdivision, a lot of the homes come with standard stuff like washers, dryers, refrigerators, stuff like that, which is what this came with. But you still have to pick out what kind of lighting you want. If you want the standard lighting, what kind of carpet. Do you want the standard carpet? Do you want the standard padding under the carpet? Anything that you want that's not the norm of what they show you, the options that they show you, then you have to go back and choose, and then that's an upgrade, and that's ultimately added, like I said, into the mortgage. It could be something as simple as a built-in soap dish or a built-in seat in the shower. Like you see here, we got the built-in seat or the built-in counter. You could use it to sit down if you want, but we did not get the built-in soap dish because, it was extra. So it just depends on what you want. You could get a full shower, like that's a full shower, but you could eliminate the tub. It comes standard with the tub, but if you didn't want the tub, you have to pay extra to have that tub taken out and extend your shower or put something else there. So off the master bathroom is a walk-in closet. That's the biggest one, which is mine. And then there's another closet in the bedroom on the other side. That's also a walk-in closet, but just a little bit smaller. This house is 3,400 square feet. That little room over there, that's another office. I mean, this house had more room than was needed for real. And this was the second largest model that they had. But because we both had big families, we decided to just go ahead and just get a house with lots of room. These are standard light fixtures. You can decide whether you want gold trim, silver trim, or black trim. But yeah, these were just the standard lights. So take me in your arms. Yeah. This is the half bathroom on the first floor, and the pedestal sink was standard. Not crazy about it, but again, it was standard. Y'all, I did not like the backsplash choice, but I didn't have a choice because we could not afford to upgrade anymore, to keep upgrading for this and that. It doesn't even really match that well. It probably looks better in person than it does right here. But yeah, it was just from the choices that they had, that's what I picked. I know that feeling. We say goodbye until it hurts. So you can see, like, once it all came together, it didn't look bad at all. I guess y'all could tell that the kitchen was my favorite part of this house. And there's my gas stove. There's nothing like cooking on a gas stove. It's just better controlled heat. I'm from the north. That's what I was used to. To be honest, some decisions I made, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, do you want the banister to be all one color, or do you want, the little parts on the inside to be painted? Like, what? And this is my grandson, who is now 17, and two of our daughters. This is the breakfast room, which the builders claim to be an added bonus, but that just meant that you would get the deck. And in this case, we did get the deck, but y'all, we did not get the steps. The steps to the deck were $2,000 additional. So we just said, okay, we'll just get somebody to build the staircase later on. That has not been done. So yeah, we have a deck, but no stairs. But that's okay, because we don't really use the backyard, and I don't have to worry about animals or anything trying to climb up the steps now that I'm getting ready to start this garden. So finally, by the end of August, almost 10 years ago, the house was finished. This was the front that we picked out earlier. Well, Tony picked that out. And then we got the keys. I finally got to cook on my gas stove. Yes. There were plenty of things that we could have done differently. Like, we could have got a railing for the front, to come up that little step. We didn't even think about getting a house that was on one level, as far as or either the master being downstairs, because as we grew older, we were going to have to climb steps. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a lot of things that, you could think about. But when you're younger, you don't think about certain things. I mean, the house that I came from in Delaware, the master was downstairs, and then the kids' bedrooms were upstairs. But I mean, you still don't think about it, because when you're in your 40s and 50s, you're just like, hey, I could do this. And then, you're excited in the beginning, but honey, when them numbers start adding up, you're like, nope, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. And yeah, so I hope this gives you just a little inside look, or if you've purchased a home from the ground up, share some things that happened to you, what you did or didn't do. Y'all give me a thumbs up, a like, say hello, and I will talk to y'all later on in the YouTube streets. Bye-bye.